Where's the... I don't have a podium. Do I need a... That's it.
Are we ready to go?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Would we please be seated for the meeting? Welcome to December 5th Code Board meeting, and I want to wish you all early a happy holiday, and hope you have a nice Christmas and all that. And if you will, follow us into the Pledge of the Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Could we have the roll call, please, of the board members?
Mrs. Monahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fogg?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hoffman is excused. Mr. Taylor is excused. Mr. Murdoch?
Here.
Mr. Curry?
Here. Okay, we need a motion for the approval of the minutes of November 7th, please. Hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right. Second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Murdoch. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We have the swearing in of the staff members, please.
Please state your name for the record.
Ken Arnold.
Daniel Williams, Monica Vargas Barrios, Melissa Brubaker, Lynn Swartzel.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, we have a consent agenda here. If there is no request from the board, then we need a motion to accept as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Hoffman. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Okay, hopefully we'll have a very quick meeting, folks, today.
Bless you. Thank you.
Let's see, we're starting the violation hearings. Number one, case number 73613, location of violation 204 Entrada Avenue, Port St. Lucie, 5262 Benches, LLC. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please state your name and address in the microphone.
Yeah, my name is Cliff Spiker. My address is 2070 Glen Ridge Drive, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Okay, would you please raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Right. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just bear with us if you will, and we're going to hear from Ms. Brubaker.
For the record, I am submitting 3 photos, 2 dated September 13th, 2012, and 1 dated September 20th, 2012. During my first inspection on September 13th, I found 204 Entrada in violation of 3.01.03J for running a community residential home from the property. I issued a letter and gave a compliance date of October 10th, 2012. On September 27th, 2012, the property owner came in and discussed the violation with myself and Danielle Williams, and he explained that he had a sober house, which is not allowed in a residential zone. We told him that he could go to the state and obtain a license for a family residential home for no more than 6 residents. We had numerous meetings with the owner, and we continuously informed him he is not allowed to have a family residential home unless he is licensed first through the state. He then requested to be heard at the Code Enforcement Board. As of December 4th, 2012, the property still remains in violation.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, are you in violation or are you not?
I have 4 people in the home, which means I'm in violation. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Would you like to explain?
Yes. I went to the state. By no means, before I bought this home, which is about 17 months ago, I called St. Lucie County and asked what regulations and rules there were for a sober home, and I was told there were none. Now, who answered that phone? And I didn't record it. I didn't ask that to be in writing and all that stuff, but whoever was on the other end of that phone told me there were none. To me, that meant go. Okay, that's all I understood. So anyway, whatever happened, happened. So I now own this home, and I'm sympathetic to the alcoholic cause because I am an alcoholic. I'm involved, okay? I'm trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Somebody reached out and helped me 10 years ago, and because of that, I'm sober today. I'm involved in a large clubhouse on US 1. I've been on the board of directors for 4 years. I'm the president of that club. I try to help people.
Okay, very good. We appreciate that, and I'm sure it's well needed in this community and many communities around this state and many other states. However, unfortunately, the information, and you know now that on a phone call verbally and somebody just says, yeah, yes, go ahead, do this, do that, is not really the proper way to find out.
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you might have known it before, but you even know it more now.
Well, I assume that if, yeah, I know. I assume that was
Okay.
wrong. I understand.
So now we have to try to figure out what the solution is to the
Right.
problem. And I think Ms. Brubaker was trying to help you, from what I understand, on this. So what is the direction now?
Well, I don't know what to do because I've gone to DCF, and I am told that because I offer no services to these people, that there is no license to get.
Okay.
So if there's no license to get, and there's no license for the home, it's a group home, but I can't have everything's conflicting. Nothing makes sense because there's no license to go get.
Okay, then let me ask you this. I'm sure we on the board would like to know this. Running a community residential family home, a residential home, how did this come about? What, if you don't mind my asking, Ms. Brubaker?
What happened was I received a complaint on the house. I probably received it in August, and I took time monitoring the home, and I noticed all the bicycles there. There was quite a few different men playing basketball in the front, and then that's when I cited it. And then he did come in, and he explained to us the situation. But the state requires him to provide a service to the people in the home, and then they would give him a license. But what he is providing them, a home, but it's not like he has to cook their meals or they're not given medication.
You know how to cook?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Pretty good, too.
I've got questions.
Yes, please.
I want to know what the difference is between what he's doing and a house near a college where 4 or 5 guys rent a house. What's the difference?
I'd like to know that myself. That's been my argument, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, Assistant County Attorney Barbieri, it may be the zoning or what they're doing may not be legal either. I mean, and if we don't receive a complaint, then we're complaint driven right now. But if it's single residential family dwelling, then it has to be the family that's in there.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple more questions.
Yes, Mr. Curry.
I've done some work down in Boca around FAU, and the city of Boca has a requirement that says that no more than X number of people can live in the same house if they're unrelated. And I didn't know, does the county have any kind of regulation like that you guys are aware of? I'm not aware of any.
And Mr. Chairman, our code says no more than 2. If you have more than 2, it's considered a rooming house. And in the residential zoning, a rooming house is not allowed.
It's not allowed, or you have to get a permit for it?
Probably have to rezone the property for like a hotel, motel. Yes.
Are you charging rent from these guys?
Absolutely, but I don't collect much of it.
Right, I understand. Well,
let me interject to the board just some information on the definition. If I could get Danielle just to briefly read that definition so that the applicant can understand. He is providing a service, I think. He provides housing. But it also says it's services such as medical needs, social, or physical needs. He claims he has called the state, and they say we don't require a license. But I think staff maybe can help him or assist him get to the right department, and he needs to provide additional services to these guys to even make this a legal enterprise, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is basically we should go ahead and just set this aside more or less, not set it aside, but give him some time, like a 3-month time frame to work through this.
I don't even know that we
and see
need to
if it-
give that much time. I think, even by the next board meeting,
Okay.
If we can, but he definitely has to provide a service. At this point,
Right.
he provides housing, he doesn't cook meals, there's no supervision.
Well, housing's a service, kind of like.
yeah, but they're paying for it.
Yeah.
He said he's collecting rent.
Yeah, well, but the definition doesn't say whether,
Just, Mr. Chairman, I have some experience in also doing these sorts of
Help
facilities.
us out, please.
I just got one, I'm working on a couple in the city of Port St. Lucie, and so I'm fairly familiar with the use and everything that's required. And in the RS4, which is what the zoning district is that correct? Did I hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
This is RS4. The permitted uses, family residential homes are permitted uses, as long as they're not located within 1,000 feet of another existing such family residential home, and provided that the sponsoring agency or Department of Health and Rehabilitative Services notifies the Board of County Commissioners at the time of the home occupancy that the home is licensed by HRS. And so the use is allowed in that zoning district, so a rezoning is not required. So really what you need is DCF has a letter, has a one-page deal that you go to the zoning department and they fill it out and say that you can do X, Y, and Z. And I believe that one of the things that you can provide is just the housing. I think that is a service. And I think that one-page sheet that you get from DCF does say that you're just providing sober housing for the individuals. And then you take that to DCF and then DCF gives you the license. That's my understanding. Now, I don't have that one-page sheet. I just know that that's the magical piece of paper that facilities like what you're providing need from the local government in order to get their license from the state. So
And where do you get that paper?
you get it from DCF.
That may have changed because I was up there and I talked to Steve. He's in charge of that department. I can't come up with a last name right now. And he told me there's no longer any license available to run a sober halfway house, whatever I want to call it or you want to call it, it doesn't matter. There is no such thing available because the services that are provided are not enough to justify a license. That's what I was told. I went through this. Believe me, I want to do everything. I want to comply.
It says the sponsoring agency or the Department of Health and
Sponsoring
Rehabilitative
agency,
Services.
meaning that I do have people that come out of FCR and come to my house.
What is that?
FCR is Florida Center for Recovery.
Okay.
They send a couple of guys to my place. If they were to sponsor me, I could get a license through them. But, that's not what they want to do, and that's not what I want to do.
Well, I don't see why would you not do that. I mean, it seems like to me your choices are to do that or potentially
they're
not.
associating me with them, and in a large enterprise like that, they don't necessarily want to do that.
Well, I think at this time, I believe that we're somewhat sympathetic as a board to what you're trying to do, for the reason you're trying to do it, but just the licensing or whatever you're going to have is not in place. I don't know how you're going to get it. I'm not familiar with that. And like, Mr. Curry was, and maybe somebody, staff here could help you out or whatever. I think at this time, what we may do, I don't know what the board's thinking, is just table this for 30, 60 days and let them work on it and see what he can do. And if that
I
time,
am willing.
we're going to have to make a decision, sir, and we will. But right now, we're trying to be nice and, we're always nice.
I appreciate that, and again, I'm trying to comply. I've been up to DCF, and I was told there was nothing I could do. Nothing
Is
that they could
DCF
provide.
the only agency that could get involved?
That's
Yeah.
my understanding. Yes, ma'am.
And Florida State no longer licenses rooming houses, but we couldn't have one in that area anyway. So I guess a lot of things have changed in the last couple of years.
I still don't have a satisfactory answer to my mind as to how this is any different from any other rental house across this county that rents to men, unrelated individuals. I don't comprehend how this is different.
By this
When you have a
definition.
3-bedroom house, for example, how does any of us know that the 3 occupants are not related?
Ms. Monahan, I think you hit on a topic that's very difficult for government to manage. When you get to the definition of families, we don't really, that's even can be challenged, very easily challenged, and every code in every city or county is different. We don't monitor folks who rent out a room in their home, and just like college towns, they most likely are violations. But unless you get complaints or the municipality has an ordinance in place that prohibits the rental to 5 college students, which some towns do that, there's really no way to manage it. It's a big issue. It's bigger than
what is the complaint with this place? It looked like it was, the photographs looked like it was well kept.
Could we see a picture again?
You know, there's bicycles in the front. You can drive by every other house in this county's got bikes in the front.
Melissa can tell you the specific.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask a question. I asked a question about the code saying how many unrelated people could live in a house, and you said 2. I see the definition of family just says 1 or more persons occupying a single housekeeping unit, provided that unless all members are related by blood, legal adoption, or married, no such family shall contain over 6 persons, and provided further that such family may include gratuitous guests and domestic servants. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it doesn't mean that you can only have 2 people in there that are unrelated.
Mr. Curry, if you would go look at the definition we put up there of rooming house, it states that any dwelling in which more than 2 persons are lodged on a continuing basis without meals for compensation. So putting those 2 definitions.
Is this a conflict?
But they're not getting paid.
It's not a rooming house.
He said he charges them.
Yeah, but
What's the difference between that and rent?
That's a rooming house. It says without meals for compensation. He says he charges them. That if you combine our definition of family and rooming house, he's basically running a rooming house right now.
Well,
Wait a minute. A rooming house is you rent a room. Is it not? You rent a bedroom? This has a living room and a kitchen, does it not?
Yes, ma'am. I was told by
Under
the
our
state that the
definition.
definition of a rooming house was if you charge rent and people stayed less than 1 month. The guys I have in my house, 2 of them came in April. They're sober. They're working. They're paying taxes. They're paying child support. I have another guy that came in September. He just got a job yesterday through my efforts and help. And another guy came in October, and he's learning the air conditioning trade. All 4 of these guys are paying taxes and have jobs that are paying over the table, not under the table. These are people that are contributing to society and staying sober.
But the county's definition is any dwelling. It doesn't mean whether you're renting just the room or the whole building. The county's definition is any dwelling in which more than 2 persons are lodged on a continuing basis without meals for compensation.
But doesn't that conflict with what Curry just read here about the family? It does to me.
You interpret them both to work together, and so you've got the rooming house definition and the family definition.
Frankly, I don't see a problem with what this man's doing. I think he's being snatched through a keyhole unnecessarily. But
Chairman, what I'd like to recommend to the board, and it's your decision ultimately, but is that provide maybe a 45-day extension, 60-day extension. Staff, excuse me, staff will work with the individual to see and contact DCF, and we believe there's a mechanism for him to run the family residential home. That's what the unit should be called and classified as, and it's conceivable that he could get a license to do so. But we want to provide him some guidance and also talk to DCF to make sure the rules haven't changed. I don't know.
I think that's a great idea.
And then we'll come back to you, and you guys will ultimately make the decision whether he can operate or not.
If we carry just extend this to like March of 2013.
I don't think we need to go that far out.
Well, we're not going to be here in January.
I'm sorry, I've got another question, Mr. Chairman. What if we just find him not in violation?
we can do that.
We can do that. The only thing that happens when you do that, this is one particular facility or home that you find not in violation under this particular case, and then any other people that you have come before you that have the same thing, then, you know, it has to follow in line. It can't.
Each case is judged on its own merit.
Right, but it still is something that I think the board should be cautious of how they do. I guess I would ask Jack, do you have any input on that, Mr.
Well,
Prager?
I don't like it.
Well, certainly, staff has the requirement to present evidence, and you then review that evidence based on any other testimony given by the alleged violator, and then you weigh it, you balance it. But frankly, you have to have a reason to go the way you're going to go. all right? I mean, you could make a case that staff didn't prove that there's a violation here, but you better have some reasons and be able to cite why staff didn't prove it based on what they told you. Give some reasoning, because you are, as the chairman said, setting precedent. And if you do this and don't give sufficient reasons, other petitioners can come forward, or other alleged violators, and say, well, you let this guy operate this facility. What's the difference with me being able to operate this facility? You could be opening things up. So all I can do is offer you the advice that you should be cautious, and if you are going to rule one way or the other in a case like this, give some reasons, all right? Try to state why you feel that it isn't in violation of this particular code.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. What I was thinking, and I would tell the board and the staff, I was thinking that maybe, as you had mentioned, ma'am, that it would be a good idea if we table it and let them work on it and see if they can do something. If they can't, they have to bring it back before us. We're going to make a decision.
Well, yeah, and I would, whatever the pleasure of the board, but as staff recommended, tabling the matter certainly doesn't put you one way or the other on that. It opens up an opportunity to investigate more whether or not this individual can operate this facility or not. And there may be other things that they may be able to look at as far as services, under the definition of services. The gentleman, for instance, and I'll just throw it out, certainly has experience in this area, and I'm sure he talks to those gentlemen, gives them advice based on his experience. He might want to look into some kind of counseling role, and that could be something that DCF might consider. If you are viewed as a counselor and maybe get some kind of a certification, you might then be able to operate that facility and then fall under the guidelines of the county as well.
Mr. Chairman, it really sounds like this man really wants to resolve this, and he really wants to work with the county. I think it would be in everybody's interest to let them see if they can't come up with a solution, because obviously this guy is trying to do his best.
Absolutely.
But because of the rules and the unknowns, that he's, as Peggy says, been pulled through the keyhole. So let's give them an opportunity to see if they can't work this out.
Okay. Does anybody else
I agree with that. I have a motion if you guys are ready.
Okay, please.
I hereby move in reference to case number 73613 that the Code Enforcement Board continue the case to the Code Enforcement Board hearing on March the 6th, 2013.
706.
Okay, very good. There's a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Murdoch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, sir, so you've got till March, and you need to work with staff or people and get into this, because, like I say, we don't really want to have to maybe make a decision that we may have.
I did mention before that I had gone to DCF and that I was told there was nothing I could do. I told that to one of these people. I forget who. And I was told, well, that's my responsibility to go do that. And when I went and did that, I was told there was nothing I could do.
I think you guys-
I encourage their help.
Get
Help
more
with all
expertise.
this.
Mr. Chairman,
If you can.
you just need to tell DCF that you're not going to be able to operate unless you get something from them, and they'll have to either write a letter or some sort of thing, or you'll have to figure out what service you are providing for them, counseling services, therapy services, whatever you can find to say that you are doing that, because you probably do visit them and provide some sort of help to them.
Unfortunately, the first level is a rehab center that a license is given for. And I'm nowhere near that, and I don't want to be that. That's what DCF told me. The first level is a treatment center that you can get a license for. Now, that's the way it up. There is no license for sober houses. There is no licenses for halfway houses or any other thing you want to call it.
Well, maybe it's time for you to start getting one. I mean,
Sir,
maybe there's a need. Nobody knows.
There's a need, but I don't have the money.
Sir, what you may want to do is sit with Melissa Brubaker or staff here. They will try to direct you and help you.
Right.
And just stay in contact with them or see them or personally talk to them. It's not always good on the phone. It's nice to see it in person. And one thing you may want to remember is when you go visit somebody, write down their name, when you spoke to them, and their phone number. So if you have to call back, you speak to the same person.
And
we
I
might
believe
find that helpful.
staff would be able to probably provide you with some information. I mean, you guys know what
Talk
letters.
to him more about
Yeah.
exactly what he does there. You know, I know he says, you know, they've gotten jobs. I'm sure he's providing that guidance to even go out and get jobs, you know. So he just doesn't realize how much he's probably doing. So we'll question him and see what we can do to help.
He's doing a very good job, it seems like. Thank you so much, sir. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
What,
Thank all of you.
Yard work is a good effort for these guys, and I see there's weeds and such
That
here.
was
You
the
could-
before picture. The lawn is mowed every week.
I would suggest you keep it pristine.
We try.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, case number 2, 73289's been removed. Number 3, case number 72127's been abated. Case number 4, case number 73713 has been removed. As you can see, case number 73134 has been abated. Case number 73112 has been abated. Number 7 is the case we're on, 73676, 138 North Naranja Avenue, Lee, DeSage. Number 8 has been abated. Number 9, case number 72655, 2505 North 43rd Street, Fort Pierce, Florida. Sursate Heshu? Is that how this is pronounced?
That's two. Who knows?
Not here anyway, but gosh. Okay, number 10 has been removed. Number 11's been abated. Number 12 has been removed. Number 13's been abated. Number 14, 10701 South Ocean Drive, Lot 686, Jensen Beach, Dennis Perron. Good morning, sir. Please come forward and state your name. Speak into the microphone, please.
Yes, my name is Dennis Perron. I live in 10701 South Ocean Drive, Unit 687 in Jensen Beach.
Okay, please raise your right hand and be sworn in.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. If you'll just bear with us, we're going to hear from Ms. Barros, and then we will talk to you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. For the record, I am submitting 6 photos, 3 dated March 30th, 2011, and 3 dated November 21st, 2012. On July 11th, 2011, a notice of violation was sent to Mr. Dennis Perron and Linda Detour, the owners of 10701 South Ocean Drive, Lot 686, to please obtain a permit for the raised addition and deck for the stucco on the addition with a correction date of August 12, 2011. On August 19, 2011, I received a phone call from the owner, and they are working with the engineer. On March 22, 2012, staff spoke with Mr. John Henry, who is the engineer, and he stated he's working on the property. Staff since did not receive any other communication from the property owner, and on September 13, 2012, the notice to appear for the November 7, 2012 Code Board was sent. On November 2, 2012, Mr. John Henry contacted staff and set up an appointment with staff. On November 6, 2012, staff met with Mr. Henry, and he had to make a few changes to the drawings before the contractor could come in and pull the permit. He requested for the case to be removed from the agenda to allow him a couple of weeks to make the corrections and for the contractor to come in and pull the permit. Staff granted the extension. Since the permit was not applied by November 19, 2012, the notice to appear for the December board was sent. On November 21, 2012, the property was posted. On December 4, 2012, I spoke with the property owner, and he states the contractor will be coming in to pull the permit today. As of December 5, 2012, the property remains without a permit. This is in violation of St. Lucie County Land Development Code 11.05.01, building and sign permits. Staff has been working on the case for 18 months, and after getting no compliance, staff has brought this case before the Code Enforcement Board.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, are you in violation or not in violation?
I'm in violation.
Okay. And it's been going on for over a year.
Yeah, I know. My engineer seems to didn't know what the county wanted to get my house a permit. At first time, I got the permit about a year and a half ago for doing stucco. sorry about that. And the inspector came to the house and said, you're not allowed to do the stucco on the Florida room, only on the mobile home. So the house was started. I called my engineer. My engineer said, tell the inspector that we'll resolve that problem with the county. Let them continue. The inspector at that time, I don't remember who it was, said, well, okay, do it, but you have to get the permit for the Florida room. Since that time, I'm fighting with my engineer to trying to get him to work a little bit faster with the county. Once he said, we need energy calcs for to get the permit. So I said, well, do it. So he went, he got a guy, get the calculations for the permit, and said, well, now you need a roof, a new roof. So I got a company, cost me $6,000, $6,600 to do the roof, to get the permit to resolve the stucco. They did they did the roof with a permit, and there was another issue on that. They only gave a permit to do it on the mobile home and not on the Florida room at that time, but the issue was on the Florida room. So anyway, make a long story short.
Please.
It's always like after the calculation, after the roof, it's been the flood level that now everything's okay. John Henry, my engineer, yesterday morning at 11:30 finally called me and said the paper, all the package that you need with the county, it's in the permit department. Okay. You need to get a contractor and get the permit. So I'm there now. It's like the problem was the engineer could not understand what the county.
If you had if you had this engineer for the last year and a half,
the same engineer.
The same engineer through all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's just kind of interesting as you're explaining it, and I'm sure there's maybe some variations in all that. But he just seems like he's dragged it out for a long period of time for whatever reason.
I think so.
And you don't have now you're going to have to get a contractor, correct?
Yeah, I got a guy. It's somebody that a friend told me that this contractor is good. It's a good one because
make sure
contractor that I had before, he's having an issue with the county.
Make sure he's got his proper credentials. Ms. Monahan?
Can't the county tell them if this is a legitimate contractor or not?
Yes.
Yes.
We did. We confirmed, actually, yesterday, he gave me the information and we confirmed it.
So that's been
So everything is
good.
good?
So basically, you just need a little more time.
Well, they need 2-3 days to get their...
Surely you'll have this done by the 15th of January.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
We don't have a meeting in January, correct?
I know.
February.
Make it in February?
Yeah. Because we've given him time before. I mean, they've given him extensions and several other things. And
that's what he
on
needs,
this,
but is it not
so,
time? He just needs
Is February
That's fine.
plenty? Okay. Mr. Chairman, I hereby move in reference to case number 68270 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by February the 6th, 2013, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
there is a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Murder. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, sir, you have until the middle of February and before anything happens, so you need to stay busy and get this done.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and on the way out, there's a lady back there in the corner. See her hand up? She'd like to talk to you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you
a good
very
day.
much.
Have a nice holiday.
You too.
15 has been, case number 7277 has been removed. 16's been removed. 17's been removed. 18 has been removed. 19's been abated. Fine hearings. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's the end of the violation hearings. If we can sound the halls, pardon?
Go ahead.
Yeah, if we can sound the halls to see if those, would you like to read in?
I'll let.
Let me?
Yeah, please.
Okay, the absentee cases, case number 73676. Location of violation 138 North Naranja Avenue, Port St. Lucie. The property owner is Lee D. Sage. Case number 72655. The location of violation 2505 North 43rd Street, Fort Pierce. The property owner is Sursati Hastu. I think that's it. Just 2 cases today.
Is that all we had was 2?
Yep.
Let's see.
Is that all you got, Jack?
That's all I got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we got, Jack.
Okay.
Mr. Fogg.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. The hall's been sounded?
I guess they have.
Ms. Burrows, the hall's been sounded there? Both sides. Okay, we're looking for a motion, please.
Is that number 7?
I believe it is.
I hereby move in reference to the cases read into the record that the Code Enforcement Board enter an order finding these alleged violations are in default as they did not appear to protest the violations against them, and that the board adopt the recommendations of the staff as set forth on the agenda.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Curry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, very good. Now we're going into fine hearings. 19, 20. Okay, the first fine hearing is abated. The second fine hearing is abated. The third, number 3, case number 73214, 5703 Shannon Drive, Federal National Mortgage Association. Okay, can we hear from Ms. Swartzel, please?
For the record, I'm submitting 4 photos, one dated July 24, 2012, and 3 dated December 4, 2012. 5703 Shannon Drive was brought to the October 3, 2012 Code Board and found in violation of 1-9-32, Parent D, overgrowth. This case was found in default, and the board gave until November 9, 2012 to bring the property into compliance. I've had no contact with the property owners or the tenants. As of December 4, 2012, this property still remains in violation.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the board? Sure looks like a mess, doesn't it?
Mr. Chairman, I hereby move in reference to case number 73214 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting November the 10th, 2012, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000.
Okay, there was a motion. Do I hear a second? Mr. Curry?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay. Let me see. We're going to 4. That has been abated. Number 5, case number 72150, 7301 Marsh Terrace, John Hayes Estate. Ms. Bluebreaker?
This case was found in default and given until November 9th, 2012 to come into compliance. For the record, I am submitting 2 photos, one dated September 21st, 2012, and one dated December 4th, 2012. During my first inspection, I found 7301 Marsh Terrace in violation of 1-9-32, an unsanitary pool. I issued a letter and gave a compliance date of May 5th, 2012. I have had no contact with the owner, and as of December 4th, 2012, the property remains in violation.
Is this in foreclosure?
No.
Is it vacant?
Yes.
Is that pool secured behind the screen porch?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it just needs to be maintained.
Yeah, the patio doors are locked.
Okay, we're looking for a motion, please.
I hereby move in reference to case number 72150 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting November the 10th, 2012, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Murdoch. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 6, case number 72267, 409 Easy Street, Fort Pierce, Florida, Virginia, Darby, TR. Ms. Probation.
This case was found in violation and given until November 9th, 2012 to come into compliance. For the record, I am resubmitting 2 photos, one dated April 19th, 2012, and one dated July 3rd, 2012, and I am submitting 1 photo dated December 3rd, 2012. During my first inspection on April 19th, I found 409 Easy Street in violation of 11.05.01 to obtain a permit for the enclosing of the separate garage. I issued a letter and gave a compliance date of May 23rd, 2012. I have had contact with the owner, and we discussed the violation and ways to correct this matter. As of December 4th, 2012, there is no permit, and the property remains in violation.
Let me ask you a question. If I'm seeing this correct, of course, the posts are here and foremost in front, so it appears like they're putting up a fence of some kind. But the garage that I see behind there, is that the one, is that completely enclosed now from the former picture, which we had before?
Yes, it is, and now there's just like a door to get into it when there was 2 big, large garage doors.
So what they're doing is they're just continuing on their way and without any...
Correct. The fence does not have a permit either.
Okay.
But
so
does the original structure of the barn, does it have a permit?
The original structure does, but they don't have a permit for taking the garage doors down and enclosing it.
Okay.
Have we seen this one before?
Yes, the gentleman actually showed up to the board and said he was going to obtain a permit.
Yeah. See, and it appears in things like this, it's like blatant. They just go ahead and they just keep going along no matter what we say. And as easy as, or as nice as we try to be with some people, it's something like this, it's just where it doesn't matter what you tell us, we're going to keep going anyway, as you look through the pictures. So I just wanted to bring that up so it could be handled appropriately.
But this structure with the 2 garage doors, that was permitted?
Yes, there was an original permit for the building, but not to take the doors down and turn it into just, you know, like a, it's no longer a garage. You can't put a vehicle in it.
Right. Okay.
Just a question I have. So you say it was permitted. At the same time that the walls were put up as what we're seeing here, and then they took the walls down and just decided not to put doors in.
No, the building was permitted. I can't give you the year, say 10, 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
The house
like
got
the
foreclosed on. We got a new owner, and now he's enclosing the building.
Okay.
He's carrying on his program. Okay, very good.
I'll make a motion if
Yes,
you guys
sir.
are ready.
Mr. Curry?
I hereby move in reference to case number 72267 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in the case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, we make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day the violation exists starting November the 10th, 2012, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000.
Second.
Okay, second by Ms. Monahan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, moving right along. Let's go. Okay, that is the end of those. Now we are going into, if you look at the top, these are the referral to the Board of County Commissioners. If you've noticed that, and on each and every one of these from staff, on each and every one of these, we have to read the paperwork we have here to put it before them. Is that correct, ma'am? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm sorry.
I know on the paperwork here it says we're going to refer them to the Board of County Commissioners, but on each case, we have to read in there that is referred, or can we do it in total?
No, that's correct. We have to do each case separate and give you the facts so you can make the determination that's necessary for you to refer it.
Okay, all right. The reason I asked that because there was so many of them all at one time. Once in a while we have one, but okay, very good. Number one, case number 74433, 114 SLC Court, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Earl Carmen Jr. Ms. Brubaker.
For the record, I am submitting 2 photos, one dated October 16th, 2012, and one dated December 3rd, 2012. 114 Celestia was cited for 1-9-32 overgrowth and 13.09.00 Article 103.5 to secure the broken windows. This is an abandoned home, and there's been numerous neighbor complaints about this property, and staff recommends this to be referred to the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This home does not have a current code violation on it. We're just immediately sending it up to the county commission.
This house has been abandoned for 4 years, and it's been in foreclosure for approximately 4 years, and it is sat looking like this.
Okay.
So we'd like to take the next step and...
Gotcha. Well, I'll make the motion.
Okay, Ms. Monahan, that's terrific.
I hereby move in reference to case number 74433 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of these conditions.
There's a motion. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Murray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 2 has been abated. Number 3 has been abated. Number 4, case number 74505, 421 Solaz Avenue, Maureen H. Hussman and Michelle Harry. Ms. Brubaker.
For the record, I am submitting 1 photo dated November 28th, 2012. 421 Solaz Avenue was cited for 1-9-32 overgrowth. This is also an abandoned home. There have been numerous neighbor complaints about the property, and staff recommends this to be referred to the Board of County Commissioners.
Monahan?
Are you interested in
Oh, Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray has it.
Murdoch?
I'll read the motion.
Oh, hurry? Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Murray, oh, you're going to make it? Okay. You can relax. It's your turn.
Sorry. I hereby move in reference to case number 74505 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in the case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of the conditions.
Okay, is a motion a second?
I second.
Second, Mr. Murdoch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, we're going to go to number 5. Case number 74507, 154 Southeast Calmoso Drive, Jamie Hughes, Law. Ms. Brubaker.
For the record, I am submitting 3 photos dated November 28th, 2012. 154 Calmosa was cited for 1-9-32 overgrowth and the unsanitary pool, and 8.00.05 to secure the pool. The fence around the pool is wide open. There's been numerous neighbor complaints about the property, and staff recommends this to be referred to the Board of County Commissioners.
Is this one abandoned?
This one has been abandoned for probably 3 to 4 years also. The pool does look to be covered, but it doesn't look like it's secure. It looks like it's just a little vinyl, so we'd like to make sure that it's
Right.
Okay, very good. All right. Do you hear a motion?
I hereby move in reference to case number 74507 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of these conditions.
Okay, there's a motion. I hear a second.
I second.
Second, Mr. Murdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, now we're going number 6, case number 74511, 4002 Avenue L, Fort Pierce, Florida, William M. West and Michelle Petaway.
For the record, I'm submitting 2 photos dated December 4, 2012. The property has been before the board numerous times, and liens have been placed on the property. The owner do not maintain the overgrowth, which is in violation of Section 1-9-32D, and the windows and doors are not secured, which is also in violation of Section 13.09.00, Article 301.3. Staff is continuously receiving complaints on the property, so we're asking the board to refer this case to go before the Board of County Commissioners for abatement. And this property is not in foreclosure.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Murdock, would you like a chance?
Sure.
Okay.
I hereby move in reference to the case number 74511 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendations of staff with regards to the existence of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of the conditions.
There's a motion. I hear a second.
Second.
Ms. Monahan, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 7, case number 74508, location of violation 4000 Avenue L, Fort Pierce, Florida, Gulf Fort and Magadane DeVille. Is that right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Danielle Williams, please. Thank you
For the
very much.
record, I'm submitting 1 photo dated December 4, 2012. This property has been before the board again numerous times, and we have liens on the property. The owner does not maintain the overgrowth, which is in violation of Section 1-9-32D. Staff is receiving complaints on this property, which is why we're referring this to the BOCC for abatement. And this property is in foreclosure.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking for a motion. Mr. Murdock, would you like to do it again?
Sure.
All right. Give people a break.
I hereby move in reference to the case number 74508 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendations of staff with regards to the existence of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of the conditions.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion to hear a second.
Second.
Ms. Monahan. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, number 8, case number 74503, 2672-2678 Naranja Avenue.
Niagara.
Oh, excuse me, Niagara. That's right. And CNS Reality, GIP, LLLP, TR. Okay, Ms. Williams.
I'm submitting 2 photos dated November 28, 2012. This property has also been before the board numerous times, and lien has been placed on the property. The owner does not maintain the overgrowth, and the windows and doors are unsecured. which is in violation of Section 1-9-32D and Section 13.09.00, Article 301.3. Staff is asking the board to refer this case to the Board of County Commissioners, and this property is in foreclosure.
Okay, looking for a motion?
I'll go for it again.
Okay.
I hereby move in the reference to case number 74503 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regards to the assistance of a violation, we determine the condition caused by the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, and staff is directed to notify the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners of the conditions.
Second.
Second by Ms. Monahan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
I have a quick question of staff. Dare I hope that the county commissioner has the authority to maybe tear some of these down, demolish them, and be done with it?
The Board of County Commissioners has condemnation authority. It has to be based on a recommendation from the building official, and he has to go out and look at it. And it has to be about 50% destroyed, which is going to be hard on CBS homes or ones where their roof are intact.
Okay, but they will go out and mow it and board it up?
This will give them the authority to go out and mow, do a one-time mow and board it up.
Okay.
One time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then they build
We'll put a lien on the property.
Put a lien on the property. Now, there's already liens on the property from the code board, correct?
On the
all
ones
of
that
these?
we've been to the code board, there would be liens, yes.
I mean, they've extended, as I was thinking about that, as we've been reading these, each one of those has exhausted the code board fines, correct? More or less?
I'm not familiar with each one of them, but I know that a lot of them have been to the code board or have been, they're long-term complaints that we've been having. Right.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, we're going to fine reduction hearings now. Okay.
I don't have the first one. I thought I did.
This is a continued from October 3rd, 2012 fine reduction hearing, case number 65250, a location of violation 1212 Nettles Boulevard. Shirley A. Shute. Pardon me? Scott? Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Welcome to our meeting. We're glad you're here. Would you like to come over here to the microphone, please? Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, over here. When you would you speak into the microphone? Would you give your name and address, please?
My name is Shirley Scott. I'm from 1220 Nettles Boulevard, Jensen Beach, Florida.
Okay. Would you please raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. If you're just on a fine reduction hearing here, I think we don't need to hear from anybody as staff. I think you need to tell us why you're trying to get a fine reduction. Probably why there was a fine in the beginning. Permit for a deck?
Yeah. First of all, I came down here so many times and talked to different ones, and they just never really gave us what we had to do, you know. So then they finally said, well, you're just going to have to take that porch down, which is what I did. During that time, I didn't always get the mail from here. I go back for 6 months to Hudsonville, Michigan. So I didn't hear that I was getting notices that I was anyway, I didn't get the notices. And so, but every time I'd come back and I'd come here. The thing is that I didn't write everything down. And I initially paid $2,200 to to a licensed and insured contractor. I did not know he didn't have the appropriate permits, because he was a licensed contractor. Then after that, the licensed contractor went out of business. Also, when I came down here, I had a lot to do, because also the person that sold me my modular home went out of business too. And so there was a lot of things that had to be done that I ended up having to pay for. Then when I got the notice here that I was in violation, the operations manager from Nellis Island, Mike Mascherone, told me, don't worry about it, you don't need to do anything, yours is just minor. So I didn't do anything about it. I did go to the meetings and I did come here.
But you have no idea who you talked to at the time you were here, and right now, this has been going on for a period of...
I talked to originally, oh golly, I don't have her name.
When was this originally? Does anybody have any dates on it? When this happened? Is it a year or 2 or 3? Or?
She was cited back in March 10th, 2010.
2010, in March of 2010.
And is she abated at this point?
As of April 20th, she is abated.
April 20th of this year.
Correct.
Yeah. So anyway, because of the fact I didn't get those notices when I was in Michigan, when I came back here, I tried to deal with it. It wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I know it was an additional expense to take the porch off, because in the first place I paid $2,200 to have it put on. Then when I had to have it, then they said I had to take it off, so I had to pay for that, and I took it off. And then after I took it off, Joe Ciccio said I didn't need to take the porch off. All I needed to do was redo it. So, I mean, I just was back and forth all the time, not knowing where I was at.
Okay.
What is the status of the porch right now?
It's cleaned up. It's finished.
Done.
It's done.
Completed or taken away?
It's completed. Then they said I could have that porch, but I had to have a engineer come out and redraw the whole thing. It's not much different than it was. And so I had him come out, but all this time my builder was coming down here to get a permit, and he finally said to me, you go get the permit, I get nowhere. So I came down here and I got the permit. So, and then I had it finished.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I'm not getting it.
Well,
so you were found in violation because you put a porch on without a permit.
Yeah.
Then you tore that porch down.
Right.
And now you've gone and gotten a permit and you have rebuilt a porch.
Yeah.
And everything is abated and everybody is happy.
Yeah. Except that, not me, because I'm a widow and I don't have much money.
Well, I'm thinking to myself that you've paid all the fine you need to pay. Myself. Now, I don't know how the boys feel about it.
I agree with you, Peggy.
Okay, well, the lady has told us what she has here, what is done. If you look down at the bottom of the page, staff does have a recommendation, but that's still up to the board. So at this time, we're looking for a motion.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that I hereby move in reference to case number 65250 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. The fine of $5,000 imposed by the Code Enforcement Board is hereby reduced to the amount of $0.
Okay, before I take a second, I'd like you to make an explanation of why you did that. So because in another date, at another case,
well, I'll
may not be
repeat
the same.
myself. I believe this lady has paid enough in engineering fees. She has removed the offensive deck. She has paid to get another permit and has paid to rebuild a proper deck This is what we go for. This is, in my humble opinion, this is what makes me happy, so I say no fine.
If you keep a lady happy, everybody's happy.
There you go.
No, now I'm looking for a second. Mr. Curry, I believe, gave the second. Is that right?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you, and Merry Christmas.
Yes, ma'am, same to you. That is your Christmas present from us.
Yeah, that's a
Thank you for making the deck the right way.
Okay. Now, we're going to number 2, location of violation, 705 South Market Avenue, Fort Pierce, Florida. Property owner K&K Properties of Sarasota, Incorporated. And I believe we have another companion case on that too, don't we, on the back? But is there anybody here representing them?
I'll be representing.
Okay, Mr. Ebner, please step up there and say your name, address, and you've been here, you know.
Yeah, Michael Ebner, 1207 Australian Avenue, Fort Pierce, Florida.
All right, and please raise your right hand.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, very good. Mr. Ebner, would you like to tell us again?
Well, as we know, we've been here. So we had an old paint booth that I renovated it and fixed up and made it working again. Added a fire suppression system to it. I felt like I was doing the proper thing to make it legal. Unfortunately, we found out that the paint booth had never been permitted. So that's when I met with you guys the first time, and we decided to try and get that paint booth permitted. What we found out, or I found out, is the cost to do that was astronomical. So on our second meeting, I had told you guys we had ordered a new paint booth. And I asked for another extension to get the new paint booth up because obviously without a paint booth I'm not in business. So we got the new paint booth up. We got the old one torn down. What happened was I just never followed through to let you guys know to come out and do your inspection.
Did you get the permit for the new paint booth?
Correct.
You got all of that through the county?
It's actually through the city because the new building that we purchased is in the city.
Okay, but right now, what we're speaking about right now,
In the county, the old paint booth is torn down.
Right. But this here is all county. This has nothing to do with the city, as you know. But the question was from myself as chairman and for the board information, the new location that you have now, which you are in business there now, did you get all your proper permitting there?
Correct.
For everything that you've done there?
Everything.
Okay, very good. So backing up to this, which is before us, this was on South Market Avenue. And if any of you remember it that have been here?
No. And have you learned your lesson that you must call and finalize with this county so the computer knows that you have finalized?
Yes.
Okay.
The only other thing I may mention is that he is representing, there's 2 cases here. He is probably representing both of them. Right now, you're on K&K Properties. That's correct. What you're representing presently.
Mr. Chairman, why is there two separate owners of the property? Is that what that is?
I think there was an owner of the paint booth that installed it. Is that correct?
Well, there's the owner of the property, and then I leased the property. So I don't know why there'd be 2 cases, but I'm assuming that's why.
Owner and tenant.
Right.
That is correct.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But you have moved your entire business from this K&K Properties. You're not even there anymore.
Correct.
And staff is in agreement that this has all been abated?
Yes, the spray paint booth has been removed.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Let me ask one more question.
Yes.
Did you pay prosecution costs before? It says it was imposed back in 2011. Did you ever pay like $200 or anything that you know of?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're looking for a motion on this, and then we have to go to another motion, which is on the other side of the, which is...
How do y'all feel? I'm inclined to reduce it to nothing.
I guess you have to make the motion to find out.
I'm good for it.
I just didn't know if we could discuss it or not.
Well, quite honestly, I think there should be, I think it would be very admirable if you did that, but staff asking what they're asking for, they have prosecuting costs, they have things that they have to go through, it costs money to do things, put fuel in their vehicles and all
Right.
such as that. So maybe some type of minimum type of,
Well, the prosecution cost doesn't go away unless the motion tells it to go away. Is
Right.
that not
That's
correct?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have a couple more
Mr.
questions.
Perry, go ahead, we're all talking here. Bear with us.
Mr. Ebner, do you still have a business in St. Lucie County now?
It's actually in the
City of,
city of Fort Pierce.
and then this,
We just moved over to Farmers Market Road, but that's
Where is this K&K?
on South
South
Market.
Market, okay.
is that piece occupied by a competitor of yours, or what's happening on the South Market Avenue property today?
It's vacant.
But you still own it?
He's the tenant.
I'm the tenant.
Oh,
I was the tenant.
There's nobody in the building at the
Okay.
time. In other words, it's a vacant piece. So if we're looking for a motion from the board to make a conscious decision.
All right. I hereby move, I'll see how this works, okay? I hereby move in reference to case number, looking,
Oh.
not seeing.
Case
Oh, I'm
number
sorry, the case number on this,
64233.
yes, is 64233. I'm sorry, I was
Where do you
told
see
that.
that?
Well, you don't
It was
see it.
written down.
I had to put it, I wrote it in, it was given to me
Oh,
by
tell me
Melissa.
what it is
that's the
again?
KK.
64233.
64233.
Yes.
Oh, I see, okay. I hereby move in reference to case number 64233 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. The fine of $5,000 imposed by the Code Enforcement Board is hereby reduced to the amount of 0.
Second.
I second.
There's 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The prosecuting cost still stays in place, correct? Is that right,
I
staff?
think there's a little slap
Okay.
needs to be done there.
This is case number 65638. This is 705 South Market Avenue, and this is Mr. Ebner from Ebner's Collision.
Is there any testimony different for this one?
Exact same thing.
Okay, I hereby move in reference to case number 65638 that the Code Enforcement Board make the following determination. The fine of $5,000 imposed by the Code Enforcement Board is hereby reduced to the amount of 0.
I'll second that for discussion. Does that mean he still has to pay the prosecution?
Yes.
That is my intent on both.
Yes, on both motions.
On all
there's-
3 of mine, actually, all these fine reduction hearings.
Okay.
I agree. I'll second
Okay.
that.
You second that, Mr. Curry? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Boy, did you get a Christmas present.
Thank you.
And just make sure you stop and see the little lady back there with her hand up. She'd like to talk to you. Okay, folks, is there any other business?
I have a question
Yes.
on this. I have received in my packet a notice from Ms. Williams about a release of lien under the consent agenda, and I don't understand it. Help me out. What property are you addressing?
It's
right
on
on
the
the front.
consent agenda, Rodney McGill, that you guys voted on.
Yeah,
The release of lien, what it is, the county has purchased the property, and the staff is asking that the lien be released.
oh, okay. So this is connected to that?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I
right.
couldn't figure out where it was connected to.
The county purchased the property?
That is correct. The housing department purchased the property.
Oh.
Where is it? Do you know?
On Sunrise, 4906 Sunrise, I believe. Sunset, I'm sorry, thank you.
Sunset.
Okay.
Okay. All right, very good.
And then we're to keep this other one for next time?
That is correct.
Okay, Brad.
Okay, is that all under other business? Is there any staff business? How come staff never has a question about some exciting things that's going on, giving us an update of whatever's happening? It's the end of the year. We should know all this stuff that happened in the beginning.
Well, I will give you a little tidbit of information.
All right.
We are going to increase the caseload for you all, starting in February. The officers are working very diligently out in the field. They have a lot of casework load. Our ultimate goal, as we all know, is compliance. However, we're going to start shortening up the compliance time frame instead of giving them a year. You see a lot of these cases have been around a long time. So we're going to not be too aggressive, but shorten up that request to comply and start moving these cases forward.
You know, and here I thought we were doing such a good job that we were having fewer cases.
They just haven't been bringing.
And y'all just
I can tell
burnt
you,
my balloon.
Officer Brubaker has over 80 cases in the River Park neighborhood alone.
Holy shamoly.
You'll also notice on this agenda, we brought forward cases that are going to go to the county commission. You're going to start seeing that every month. The River Park neighborhood in particular is becoming extremely active. We have some very vocal citizens in that area, and so we're trying to do what we can do as quickly as we can do, knowing, though, that this code enforcement process is a very tedious and timely process. Yeah. So,
well, there is just no excuse in all of this filth in this county.
All right.
Humble opinion.
Is there any public comments? If not, as from the board and everybody else, have a very nice holiday.
And same to
okay, and
you
we will
all.
see you all in
New
February.
Year. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.